Hey, so how do we practice phrasing? This seems like, duh, Claus, we just practice it. I'm practicing bending, right? How hard can it be? I'm practicing sliding, right? But there are methods that I have developed that you can use, and I'm going to give them to you in this video. And the method, you could say, or the methods, are really focused on how can I, get 10 times more out of the time I put in. And you really can, because just start with how many times you actually practice what it is that you want to practice. That's just one thing. And I have a solution to that will simply double, triple, quadruple the amount of repetitions you can get in effectively in the same amount of time. So if you can get 4 or 5 times more repetitions in during a minute, then, you're going to get 4 or 5 times better in the same time. So stick with me here. I have created a list for you, so this is going to be a really a great video. So first of all, don't discard the fact that speed is a measure of mastery. That it's not necessarily because you want to learn something very fast that you want to learn, sliding. Right? We're not trying to be able to play it fast necessarily, but how fast you can play it with accuracy and precision and make it happen at the highest level is simply a measure of how much or what level you master what you're doing, right? So if you can, so I can do alternate picking, fine, right? So what can you use that for? Well, at that level, you can use it for very little. The faster you can do it, the more you can use it for, right? The technique, and the more headroom you have when you want to do something that is way easier, way slower, then you're actually able to do it. So if you can do it at this level of speed, with accuracy and precision, then how much headroom, how easy is it to do it at half the speed, right? And we want to use this principle when we practice phrasing. So here's the thing that most people do when they start. They say, okay, bending is like, you bend up a semitone, and that's it. That's bending. But first of all, we need to describe exactly what it is that we do, right? Because I want to say, I want to bend at a certain rate of speed, first of all, right? It says, wang. It doesn't say like, right? It might, but that's a different kind of expressing, right? So we want to know exactly what is it that we're practicing. And just saying bending is too broad, right? I'm practicing this. Right? I'm practicing going up there and up there, like if I did a slide. Right? That's what I'm practicing. But the next thing we want to do, once we know exactly what we're practicing, what we're after, how it's supposed to sound, we cannot achieve something that we don't know what is, right? If it's too broad, we're just basically not practicing anything because we're not aimed at something specific. Secondly, we want to have a loop that we can practice. We want to have a set of notes that repeat themselves. I see that so many times that people are practicing something, right, and then like a slide with a vibrato at the end. That gets boring pretty quickly, doesn't it, right? You can do this for max 2, 3, 4 minutes, then it's just like, what am I doing? Right? So what we really want to do is we want to have a loop that the brain can kind of get into, like a meditation. A loop that we can play, we can become so good at, that doesn't start and stop any place, but it bites its own tail. Because that we can practice in front of the TV, that we can practice while we're talking to our friends. So instead of practicing, right, I want to practice something like, right, right? I want to have something that I can repeat over and over again because the brain, I don't know if it likes it, but it gets into a hypnosis, and then suddenly you can practice, instead of practicing 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and then getting sick and tired of hearing the same meh, meh over and over again, then suddenly you can get into this, right? Even when you're not listening to anybody talk or you're not watching videos, you just... And then I want to have my metronome clicking in the background, right? Right? So I'm going to... Maybe you want to go this far with your body so you get extra like... And And then I'm just listening for the sound of it over and over again, and I know exactly how it should sound, how I want it to sound like. So that really takes phrasing. Instead of it being something like, yeah, I'm practicing soloing, and in that solo, I'm bending miserably every time because I don't know how to practice it really. That's my story, right? I was just, soloing. I know. I was basically practicing bending as I was soloing, which didn't work because what people don't see is that phrasing techniques are nothing different from practicing alternate picking. Technique that we repeat over and over again. It's the same process. It's not like phrasing is a cop-out, right? You get to not practice technique because you're phrasing and playing with emotion. You get to focus on it like it's an exercise, right? But when you do, you can take each little phrasing technique, the long list I ran over the screen here in the previous video, or in the overview of the program perhaps. Like, you can take every single little technique, devise little loops that you can play, and then you follow the 3-step method, right? First you learn it, right? You really go into it with total focus, right? You might have a tuner, right? So I know exactly when I hit, I'm at D now, and then I bend it all the way up to the G sharp, find the D sharp, see how, with the tuner, right? I'm looking at the tuner now, right? So I might want to do that in the beginning, then I'm, really focused on making that bend happen. My technique, am I supporting my third finger with the other fingers behind, or am I just cramming them together to get more strength? How am I grabbing the neck or not grabbing the neck, depending on what I'm practicing, right? So get the technique right, focus on it, make it happen, right? Once you are at a certain level, it's pretty easy to do slowly, right? Now you can... It's pretty easy to do slowly. Now practicing begins. It doesn't end there. Most people stop there, and that's why they're constant intermediates, right? Now it begins. So now what you want to do is you want to move beyond that, and you want to make it easy, and you want to do it fast, so you can comfortably, with no effort whatsoever, do it where you need it. If you're learning a song, you don't want to go, heaven's door. Now I can play the song. No, that's where it begins. You want to be able to play, heaven. You know what? You want to be able to do that, because then once you are in front of people and have to perform when you're nervous, you can easily do it at the level you need to. But you need to be able to go, right? That's what we're aiming for. That's the professional level. That's the mastery level where everything becomes easy, so we can focus on the music instead of just the mechanics of the music, right? So once we have, really dissected the technique, we know we're doing it right, and we can do it automatically without thinking about it, automatically, slowly, right? Then we want to sit down in front of the TV with no sound on our instrument and do our loop, right? We want to loop that exercise and combine it with other things. So we're already integrating it with other techniques like pull-off and an upstroke pinch harmonic. Or right? And just for the sake of me not playing something that you don't know what is, I'm in the key of A. So first position A minor pentatonic here in the 5th fret, and I hit the 7th fret on the G string. I might do a rake, right? Mute all the notes behind that with my 2nd and 1st finger. Then I'm bending it up 1 semitone. Right up there, fast, and then down again. And then I'm pulling off, my mute is gone now, and I'm pulling off down to the 5th, right? And then I hit the 7th fret on the G string with a downstroke, and then right back to the 5th fret on the G string with an upstroke. Downstroke 7th fret, D string, upstroke 5th fret on the G string, and then I hammer on, I hammer on to the 7th fret, and then I'm full circle. Or I can pick that first note again, now with an upstroke, add a little pinch harmonic, or with a downstroke pinch harmonic, right? Right? It's not a fast lick, it's a bend, right? But you want to take it all the way up to the top so you can really master it. So That's what we do. Never, never, ever, ever practice something for mastery without it being a loop that is seamless, that you don't have to stop. It's just a flow of circular notes that just runs like that. So create that loop around your phrasing focus, right? What is it that you want to learn? First, step one, practice it with total focus, right? No distractions. Make it happen so you can play it effortlessly at a low level of tempo. Then sit your butt down in the couch, do the same thing thousands of times while watching videos, movies, whatever, YouTube, right? Talk to friends while you do the same, right? With an unplugged guitar or with, right? And then you take it all the way to the top. That is the method. That is the practice method specifically for things like this. So use it, and then go check out my new program here where we really go into great depth with every single phrasing technique, how to practice it, devising little practice loops around every technique, and then integrating them all into effortless flowing lines that has a ton of different stuff within them. See you.